stop me if you've heard this one before. Lions win after trailing at the 2-minute warning of the fourth quarter. Set a record. They've done that 3 weeks in a row now against New Orleans, Atlanta, and Miami. First team to ever win the game after being down at the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter. Can't say it's probably happened that much, even twice, but first team to ever do it 3 times, and that's pretty awesome. Lions take the victory 20-16, improve to 7-2, keep their number 2 seed in the NFC behind Arizona, and they are now 4-1 at home with 3 home games in a row coming up, starting on Thanksgiving with Chicago, Minnesota, and Tampa Bay. So sitting pretty right now, boys. This is this is looking good. I mean, the big story all week was Megatron coming back. How would he do after being off for a month? You know, he had that interview for NFL Network about how good he feels, and that, you know, if you had him on his fantasy team, you need to start him. So he was right, man. He was unbelievable like normal. I mean, he was never gone. 7 catches, 113 yards, and a touchdown, which very easily, if you think about it, could have been 3 touchdowns. He got the long one, and then he got the second one where Grimes made that just ridiculous one-handed catch. That's going to be on highlight reels for years. That was just insane. It was slightly underthrown. People saying, oh, it was an underthrow, blah, blah, blah. Well, he couldn't have thrown it too far, because if you rewatch the video, you will see the safety coming over the top. So he threw it back, shoulder, expecting to throw it over Grimes and right in the pocket there. But Grimes, I mean, they get paid too. He's a Pro Bowler, and he's their number 1 corner for a reason. That was just insane. And I don't give him shit either for going for the jugular. I can't stand under Linehan, whenever we'd get a turnover, what would we do? Hand the ball off right up the middle. Fucking hate that. All the good teams, you get turnover, especially on your side of the field, you go for the end zone. And we were up 10-0 at that point. We get that touchdown there, 17-0. There's no way Miami's coming back. Unlike our offense, Miami's offense is predicated on the run and on the 5-yard dinks and dunks. Just look at, I mean, Tannehill had 207 yards passing, 5.4 average. I mean, he just dinked and dunked the shit out of us, man. So he took 1 deep shot, and it was like 5 yards overthrown. So we go up 17-0. That game was completely out of reach. The final score in this game just is not indicative of the game at all. If you watch this game, you could see that we won. I mean, obviously we had to come back, you know, but holy crap. I mean, if Hedebo wouldn't have cut back across and would have taken down the sideline, 17-0 right there. Didn't even have to worry about that pick by Grimes. Their biggest play was a block punt. I mean, we were up 10-6 at that point, you know, with like 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. They take that back to the 3, which was a tremendous hustle by Kellen Davis there. The only play he's made since he's been with the Lions. That was a great play, because if we would have been able to stop him, you know, we'd be talking about that more. But unfortunately, they got a touchdown on the first play. But that was their biggest play. That was their only touchdown. Came off of a block punt, and they only needed 3 yards for a touchdown. Otherwise, they couldn't get in the end zone and settle for 3 field goals. So, you know, the game was fun. It was awesome, but it was unlike the Saints, and it was unlike the Atlanta game, because we controlled this entire game. I think 4 of the first 6 plays that Miami had were negative yards. I think they went into the second quarter with negative yardage on offense, or close to the second quarter. Might have been a couple minutes left when they finally got some yardage. But let's talk about the refs for a second. Holy shit! At the end of the game, I think the Lions only had 6 more penalties, but they were big penalties. We're driving, you know, and here's a hold out of nowhere, or, you know, here's pass interference, or here's a, you know, chop block, just at the worst fucking times, you know. And if it's right, that's fine. I'm not mad about like them calling the penalties. It's more of, why wasn't it called the other way? There was, how many times did they throw a flag on Miami, and then Bill Levy comes out, you know, waving the flag, waving off, saying no penalty. Like, refs were horrible. Almost fucked us in this game. We had to beat Miami and the refs. So that was pretty impressive to win twice and only get counted for one. That's bullshit. But yeah, Megatron did amazing. Golden Tate kept his pace up. You know, a lot of people said that he wasn't going to get many yards and targets. He was going to have to make use for the few targets that he got. But holy crap, he had 11 catches, 109 yards for, you know, no touchdowns. But that big third down on that final drive was huge. You know, people are saying that he was short, but there's no way to tell. I mean, it's not where his elbow hits. The ball was forward from where his elbow hit. So the ball was right there. Even if they would have respotted it, I think they would have, with the chain gang, they would have got it. And even if they wouldn't have got it, hopefully, with the way Caldwell was, how aggressive he was, I think we would have just quarterback sneaked it, because we only need. If they would have said it was fourth down, it would have been 4th and 3/4 of an inch. So, you know, we would have just did the quarterback sneak. We would have been fine. But yeah, 15 targets went to Calvin, 13 went to Golden Tate. So, yeah, obviously those are the 2 biggest ones. All the tight ends I thought would be back. Pettigrew was the only one to come back, but he re-injured his hamstring a little bit there in the second quarter, I think, and he got no targets. Kellen Davis didn't get any targets. I hope Fourier comes back, or Ebron. I mean, we got to have a receiving tight end. I think that'll help tremendously if we can have someone in the middle to take off the pressure from the outside. And we got to remember too, guys, this was the 2nd ranked pass defense in the league. This was no slouch of a team in Miami. You know, they're damn good fucking defense. So to be able to put up 280 yards on them, you know, it's pretty impressive. So, but I mean, what else is there to say? It's 3 games in a row. If you don't believe in Stafford at this point, I don't think you ever will. I think you just refuse to believe, and you're just a negative person, and you know, you just always want to put other people down who are excited. I don't know. I don't know how else you can hate on Stafford at this point. I mean, he played great. He had that one pick that was, you know, like I said, that was that ridiculous catch by Grimes. But when it mattered most, that last drive when we needed a touchdown, he was ridiculous. Had one true incompletion where it was knocked down. The other one was a throwaway. Otherwise, I think he was like 6 of 7 or 6 of 8 or something like that, or 5 of 7, something like that. And that last touchdown, that sidearm, just people that talk about his mechanics, just shut up. I mean, his mechanics are fine. That play right there just showed that sometimes you just got to be able to throw a sidearm. And he can do it flawlessly. He threw that sidearm faster than a lot of guys, or harder than a lot of guys can throw that the right way. And it was in the perfect fucking spot as he's running left, throwing it left. That's not easy. It's not easy to do that. So, I mean, everyone, you know, if you've watched my videos, you know how much I love Stafford. So, if you're with me, then obviously I'm preaching the choir here. But holy crap, man, he's fucking awesome, and I love it. I love having a quarterback. It's about damn time. I'm loving it. So that's pretty much that game, man. It should have been a blowout. Ended up being another great game at the end by Stafford, and the other guys. Obviously, the other guys played great too. It was nice to see Calvin get back in the action. Looks like we lost Larry Warford for possibly the season, but Swanson came in and played great. Like, I think he had one penalty, but it wasn't, you know, like, oh shit, you know, there goes those guys. And because we lost Leadron Waddle there for a while. He got hurt in the first series, and he was out pretty much the whole game, you know, but he said he'll be back. So, you know, we'll get him back, and we'll put Swanson at right guard. So hopefully we'll be set there. Our running game actually showed up a little bit. Like, it doesn't look like it on the score sheet or in the box score. I think we only had 63 yards rushing, but they were impact rushes. I mean, Drake Bell had 44 yards and 4.4 average. Reggie Bush had 20 yards with a 5 average. So, you know, Theo Riddick went 3 for 0. Attempts didn't do very much, but between Bell and Bush, they averaged 4.7 yards a carry. So our running game was great and this is what I like this. I mean, we only had 19 rushes, and let's see, 40 attempts, and he got sacked 3 times, so 43 dropbacks, and 19. I like that. I think that's exactly what it should be. 66% pass, 1/3 run. I think that's perfect balance. For what we do and the way our team is set up, I love that. Use the run when we need to. Have Joik run over some pools again. That was, if you haven't seen that play again, you gotta go back and watch that, man. Joik Bell just knocked the geezer Cortland Finnegan into next week. That was awesome. But that was that game. It was awesome. I rewatched that last couple drives again. I gotta watch it again. Hopefully they're on NFL replay so we can see some of the behind the scenes stuff, and hopefully they're on Turning Point. At this point, that maybe they should just have our own show, Lions Turning Point. With the 3 games in a row like that, they would be headline stories, just 3 games in a row. But up next, we got the 8-1 Arizona Cardinals going to Arizona, where we haven't won in a long time. Because if you guys remember, we used to play Arizona pretty much every year because of how the schedule works, playing teams that are equal to you on the standings in your division, and he's just, or they were terrible, like we've been terrible. So we just haven't won in Arizona in a long time. I'd have to look up, see when it was, but I know it's been a while. But the big storyline, Carson Palmer tore his ACL, was confirmed today. He's out for the season. He's on IR. No, I shouldn't say a funny thing, but like an ironic thing with that. Back in I think it was 2005. He signed a $100+ million deal, tore his ACL 10 days later. He signed his deal on Friday, tore his ACL on Sunday. That's just some horrible luck right there. And he's 34, so hopefully he'll be able to come back. I've always liked Carson Palmer. For some reason I'm kind of a USC fan, so I like Carson Palmer. So hopefully he can come back. But for right now, we're playing Drew Stanton of the Michigan State Spartans. Obviously, Lions fans remember he was the 3rd stringer for the Lions for 3-4 years under Stafford and Sean Hill. So as a Michigan fan, it would be horrible. Not only would we lose, but then lose to a Spartan quarterback. That would just be a fucking double killer there. But their defense their run defense is good, but like I said, we don't run much anyway. Their pass defense is 32nd in the league. But we'll go over that more on Friday. But that's going to be the big storyline, is Drew Stanton going up against his former team and being a Michigan State guy. NFC North outlook. Chicago Bears have quit, everyone. That is the breaking news for today. Chicago Bears have quit, and it showed last night. How do you fucking let up 42 points in 1/2 against your biggest rival? That's even worse than Michigan and Michigan State. Even Michigan fucking put up a better fight than that. 42-0 at halftime. Holy shit, man. So, Thanksgiving should be a blowout. Trestman should be gone. And that locker room is going to get blown up. That defense is terrible. And I love it. Like I said before the season, it was going to be us in Green Bay. I didn't think Chicago would be this bad. I didn't think that they were going to quit like this, but obviously they have quit. I mean, how else do you play that poorly against your bitter rival who you've already lost to this year? They're done. I mean, Minnesota was on a bye, but the NFC North division looks, we're still in first place, 7-2, 2-0 in the division. Green Bay 6-3, 3-1 in the division. Minnesota's 4-5, 0-2. Chicago's 3-6, 0-2. So we take care of business on Sunday, everyone. Man, we're 8-2, and we should be sitting good with 6 games to go. And if we can get one of these next 2, be 8-3, or God forbid 9-2, going into that 3-game home stretch. I'm going to that game in Lambeau week 17. So in one sense, I want that to mean something, but obviously it would be much better if we already have the division sewn up, but Man, how awesome would that be? Like, it would suck to have the streak continue, not to win in Lambeau, but if that game doesn't even matter, how awesome would that be? Not only do we make the playoffs, win the division, but we have it sewn up before Week 17. Oh, it could happen, everyone. You know, it could happen. If this offense figures it out and plays good all game instead of, you know, just in the last half of this fourth quarter, it's been a fun ride already. I mean, we're one game away from not having a losing season. Yes, as a Lions fan, I think like that because we've had so many losing seasons, and that came to my mind during the game, and I'm just like, awesome. So we matched our win total from last year as well, and we haven't been 7-2 since '93. So all these things, it's just been an awesome ride so far. Hopefully it continues. I think it will. I think this is like you know, I did my Crow video last week about Caldwell. And I couldn't be more happy that I was wrong. So that's it. See you guys on Friday. Enjoy. Hopefully, like I said, the Lions are on NFL Replay and Turning Point. If they are, enjoy. Talk to you guys on Friday. Go Lions.